Hello FIGGIE fiends and collectors, this is me, Daniel East 1000, back again with another Lord of the Rings figure review. Today we're going to be having a look at a really cool figure set. This is none other than Aragorn with Brego. Just to first and foremost make this known, I picked this up off of eBay second hand, so it was loose but it did come with the box and surprisingly everything with it. So first and foremost, we're going to take a look at the packaging, then the figures themselves. Of course, you've got this really iconic packaging style that we saw throughout the Lord of the Rings line. Everything was a little bit colour-coded as well. So with this particular one, you've got the blue packaging for Return of the King. As far as I'm aware, the only variant to this packaging is a international variant, just with the text in a different language. Of course, you've got a lovely picture of Aragorn there and Brego as to how they appear towards the end of Return of the King. So it's still from the film that's been photoshopped over. But you've got this lovely map sort of printing running all the way around the packaging. And indeed, actually inside the box. And I love it when a company does put some sort of backing in window packaging. Just so there's more to look at. It draws you into the figure, but you've got that map of Middle-earth there. And that looks absolutely wonderful. Of course, these figures would have been tied with zip ties. There's also a bit of plastic there to hold the horse in place. You've got Aragorn with Brego, Lord of the Rings logo just there as well. Deluxe horse with Aragorn. And if we just move up to the top, you've got the Lord of the Rings logo at the top there, sort of like a half moon window. Very cool. Very striking packaging. On the side, something I really love seeing, actual product photography within a scene, and that looks absolutely remarkable and something that we don't really see with figures nowadays, at least in terms of product photography. It's usually just a CGI image or a very sterile backdrop, but no, this actually has it within a scene, and that's really lovely. Of course, you've got the logo of the film there, Aragorn and Brego, Deluxe Rider set. Toybiz, which is the company that made these. Same sort of dealio on the other side. And on the back, you've got a lovely rundown of the features. And these are actually illustrated, and we will be going through those in the review. Of course, you've got a bit of text about the characters themselves. And again, that product photography. More product photography of other figures that you could pick up in the line. And then also a ton of text about the film itself. And of course, then on the bottom, you've got a ton of legal garb and other stuff there as well. So this is really cool. Very nice. It's eye-catching, it's striking. It's very of its time as well. So with that out of the way and done with, let's take a look at the figures themselves.
I see in your eyes the same fear that would take the heart of me. A day may come when the courage of men fails, when we forsake our friends and break all bonds of fellowship. But it is not this day.
So here we have the figures themselves, and what an awesome multi-figure pack. Just looks absolutely remarkable. Mine's a little bit dusty because, like I did say, I did get this second hand. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with a bit of dust. But it's just something to bear in mind. This isn't maybe how it appeared when you would have got it out of the box back in the day. That's fine. But if we just have a little closer look at the figures, wow. Just incredible for the time when they were released. So you've got the horse, and of course you've got Aragorn there, who sat atop. Yeah, just to have in a cheeky fact, Viggo Mortensen actually bought Brego after the filming of Lord of the Rings and some of the other horses as well, which I think is quite sweet. So what we'll do though is we'll take a look at Aragorn first. If we just dismount him from Brego, and here we have the figgy itself. So admittedly, head sculpt wise, I think for the time it's really good, but naturally for today's standards it's not the best likeness that you could do for Viggo Mortensen, but I think it's a damn good attempt, at least for the time when it was made. You've got him with that snaring face, ready to charge and do battle, and that looks really awesome. I do find figures, at least now, don't really have expressions put on their faces, but this And many others in the Lord of the Rings line have that, and that's really, really awesome to see. So the paint application on him is really good. You've got the paint on his face. Of course, you've got the soft goods cloak and the soft good sort of robing here as well. Something cool to see, they've kind of given him soft goods chainmail, just so he can sit on the horse, because naturally if they did that in plastic, then it would hinder him being able to sit on the horse. So the use of soft goods here is just genius for the time when it was made. Of course, you've got the Tree of Gondor on his robes there as well. You've got the chainmail on his arms, and the armour as well, which is beautifully painted and detailed, just absolutely gorgeous. The arm guards. You've even got a ring on his finger. Just absolutely stunning. And what's better as well, we will get to what this is, of which admittedly is a bit garish, but there's some charm to it, just bear with me. There's a sheath for a dagger. Now, mine did come loose, so I did have to glue that on. That is something that you commonly see with this particular figure second hand. They can be missing that, so just keep an eye out for that if you are looking to buy this. But if it does have it, it's relatively easy to glue back on. Just, of course, be careful with glue on that soft goods. And, of course, you've got the belt there. Looks absolutely phenomenal. Then coming down to the legs, of course, you've got the silver guards boots as well. Just looks really, really cool. Naturally, the soft goods here are a bit frayed because it is second hand. There's clearly been some love with this guy and some play. That's kind of what you expect when you're buying second hand, let's be honest. Now, in terms of the accessories, he does come with the sword.
Anduri, a flame of the west, forged from the shards of Narsil.
Absolutely beautiful. It's silver, you've got the handle there as well. Mine was a little bit paint chipped, but I've gone over that with some paint, which matched relatively well, to be honest. So I have done a little bit of tweaking to it. You can kind of see a bit of paint chip just on the handle there. That's fine. And then also, as I did mention, if we lift that up, you've got a sheath for his dagger. And that is really, really nicely painted as well. It's just silver and a black handle. And again, this was a little bit chipped when I got it out of packaging. Naturally, it's going to get paint rub when you put it inside a sheath. So, yeah, that's fine. But I did touch that up again with a bit of paint. It looks great. Now, in terms of the play feature with this figure, as you did see, there's a button on the back. And it's not particularly well concealed when at least you lift the cape up. When you put that down, you're not really going to notice that, and that's great. It doesn't deter from the aesthetic of the figure, and I love it when toy lines used to put play features in like this, where it didn't completely distract from the figure itself. So naturally, when you press the button on the back, there's a sword slashing action. And this doesn't hinder articulation either, because the arm is actually on a ratchet joint. Granted, mine is a little bit looser now because it is showing its age, but you can click that into different sort of positions so that you can still play with it. Now, moving into the articulation, he's got a ball jointed head, ball jointed shoulders, double hinged elbows, swivels in the wrists. There is a swivel in the torso, a swivel in the hips, also a swivel at the top part of the thigh as well. There is a sort of clicky joint in there, and the legs themselves are this soft, almost rubbery plastic. It's hard to describe. But basically this allows for it to sit on the horse, and that's why he's quite wide-legged in stance. Maybe they put the rubber toes in there just as a bit of a reference to the fact that Viggo Mortensen broke his toe when kicking the orc helmet. As a sort of postcard with that. Now, I was kind of expecting this to have the same articulation and be a real straight-up recap, bar the inclusion of the soft goods cape, of the super articulated Aragorn, which was released single-carded. And I think that one would have maybe sat fine on the horse. I haven't tried that yet, because I don't have that figure. But that's just what I was expecting. I thought the super articulated Aragorn was going to be this. But no, it is a different figure in terms of this release, because it does have the rubber legs. So, I mean, in terms of articulation, he is going to look a little bit goofy if you are standing him up on your shelf. Not too goofy, but if you did want the legs more in, like that, you can't really do that. It's going to just go back into that position. But that's fine, because really I'm just going to have this guy sat on the horse, and really the soft goods just make it perfect. That's Aragorn. He looks absolutely fantastic. I'm really, really impressed with him. If we move on to the horse though, which is the real meat of this set, you could say. Wow, this thing is absolutely incredible. So this is really, really where you see some of Toybiz's ingenuity come into the Lord of the Rings figure line. The detailing and sculpting on that horse head is just remarkable. You've got the armour there, which is really, really beautifully painted. You've got some tabards on the reins, of which again are a little bit paint chipped because this is second hand. It's not too bad. You've got that Tree of Gondor sort of marking on the saddle and covers that's dressed on the horse. You've got the tail as well, which is this very soft plastic. It's got a... yeah, that's a thing. Of course, you've got weather saddle. You can sit the figure on that, which I did kind of show. He sits on that really well. You can even sort of fit the stirrups onto the feet, which is nice because they are a rubbery sort of plastic. Just really, really beautiful, especially when you get it on the shelf and you set it up with Aragorn. Just really, really nice. In terms of its articulation, kind of wild because the plastic in the horse's head is a rubbery kind of material, and that's because they actually put articulation in the head. So there's a ratchet joint just there, so you can kind of tilt it like that. You can tilt it that way. So it creates a real nice dynamic look when you're posing this. So you can move the head up as well. Now, if you will notice on mine, kind of where the rubber plastic meets the hard plastic, some of the glue has come slightly detached from that, but that's okay because I'm not really going to overexert it. I'm going to just keep it in the sort of standard posing there. But you can move the head. In terms of the front legs, you can't really move those because the play feature is built into that, and it's really set so you can actually stand the horse. Additionally, in terms of the back legs, you've got hinges on those, so they kind of move forwards and backwards to a certain point. And then you've got hinges in the bottom half of the hooves. So you can get some relatively dynamic sort of running poses with this. There is definitely a sweet spot in terms of when you're trying to get it to stand on the shelf, just because if you have any one of these back legs in the wrong position, it's just going to topple over, particularly with a figure sat on it. So that's worth bearing in mind. In terms of the play feature, because as you probably noticed here, there's a big gaping hole near where the horse's butt is. So if you press this, there's this stomping action, or clop to clop action. That's really cool. I love that. Just really, really quirky and such a nice inclusion. Again, built so well nicely into the figure itself that it doesn't particularly detract too much from the overall aesthetic of it. Bar, of course, where the button is placed, but if you're displaying it on the shelf that way, you're not going to notice it too much. And really, it's not a big dealio there like that either. Just absolutely gorgeous. Really, really remarkable, especially for the time, again, when this was made and released. Some real thought was put into the play features and overall design of these figures. And you know what? I feel like this is a textbook example of that. I'm really, really impressed with this. If you can find one that's decently priced, then it's definitely worth picking up. I wouldn't spend any more than £50 on it. Maybe 60 at a push, but if you can get one, definitely is worth getting if you are a Lord of the Rings fan. So that pretty much does it for this review. I hope you enjoyed having a look at this. Let me know what you think. Did you have this? And did you have any of the other figures in the line? And if you want me to check those out, definitely sound off and recommend them in the comments down below. And well, this is me, Daniel East 1000, signing out. Thank you very much for watching.
Shaba!